How, as a leader in your organization, do you maximize your personal speed to clarity? Three things. One, get on top of your digital world. I spend all day, every day working with leaders, and I've been doing so for 40 years. And in all that time, I've rarely met genuinely poor leaders. What I do meet all the time are potentially great leaders who are pummeled into mediocrity by the sheer weight of their digital debt, abandoned or chaotically impenetrable to-do lists, unread emails, text floods, channel fatigue on Slack. Your work slop sources will vary. Here are two fundamental truths. You can't have clarity about anything, at least not without massive disproportionate effort, if you're swamped by data, open loops, and digital debt. Two, that tidal wave of incoming is never going to abate. It's only going to continue to grow in volume forever. So make the commitment. Invest the 3 to 5 days that it will take to get on top of it all, and put the systems and processes in place to stay on top of it. You don't have to become an inbox zero Zen master at time and productivity management. You just need to master the basics. I personally recommend David Allen's Getting Things Done system. I've used it for over 2 decades now. Two, get right with your physical environment. I have known many leaders who can speak and think with crystal clarity when we're talking over lunch or in a nearby Starbucks, but who slide into a miasma of vagueness or procrastination when we get back to their office or factory. When that happens, it's nearly always because their physical environment isn't optimized for clear thought. They hate their office, or it has no windows, or their key people are miles away, or they don't have the right technology to hand, or they're looking for 8 hours a day right into an unadulterated mess of a warehouse. Your mileage will vary, of course, but if you find yourself inexplicably fuzzy-headed at work, but clearer about things elsewhere, then your physical surroundings are almost certainly a major part of the problem. If you have agency in the matter, take time to fix it, brighten things up, move the tools to where you need them to be, move distracting stuff that's shouting at you for attention all day long out of your line of sight. I've been using the principles of feng shui for some decades now, not for me in any spiritual or mystical way, but in structuring my own working environment in the sense of layout, light, and flow. I use it as practical design guidance, which I've found highly effective, and which I recommend to anyone looking to create a more focused workspace. I've put links to some resources below. 3, practice inbox zero with your emotions. I earn my keep by helping CEOs and management teams be even better at what they're already great at. And one of the greatest challenges both they and I face is in addressing issues that are hard to see with clarity, not because of the issue itself, but because of the emotions surrounding it. Underlying emotions are something we all deal with all the time, and they're difficult enough. But overlying emotions, those which hide or mask clarity about the underlying issue, those are the most difficult of all. Telling someone they're not thinking clearly, or they're not thinking clearly fast enough because of unresolved legacy emotions isn't easy. But the truth is, if you're harboring annoyance at a team member, if you have fear of pulling the trigger on a decision because of past failure, if you're experiencing bitterness after shabby treatment by someone else, or you have any other form of significant emotional undertow, then you'll have a poor speed to clarity. The 2 practical tools that I have found most helpful in this respect, both in my own life and in coaching others, are, first, keeping short accounts on emotional issues. When I was in my early 20s, I taught myself to enjoy drinking black coffee. I did it because I couldn't be bothered with the hassle of running out of or ending up somewhere that didn't have any cream and sugar. It was a silly little thing. It took me about 3 months to crack it, but in a simple and trivial way, it just made life easier. Much harder to do, but enormously more powerful, is building the discipline of learning to let go of unhelpful emotions in a short time frame. And yes, I'm very well aware that that's an incredibly easy sentence to type, and that there's an entire industry devoted to helping people do exactly that. Nevertheless, I have proved to myself, and many leaders have done similarly, that if you can learn to do it, your speed to clarity will multiply immensely. 2. Building a morning and evening airlock. I wrote the following paragraphs in my 4th book, Do Scale, A Roadmap to Building a Remarkable Company. Oftentimes, external mood changers are what flips a visionary leader into the arsonist mindset. Maybe you had a row with a friend or family member, or your team got soundly beaten in last night's game, or you couldn't find your lucky socks this morning. Whatever the cause, the shift from creative visionary to destructive arsonist is most often driven by emotional negativity. I tell all the visionary leaders I work with who have started the long and often arduous journey to scale to build an emotional airlock. By that I mean a physical trigger, a place perhaps like the elevator you ride up in every morning, or a routine like tuning into your favorite podcast when you get in the car. Something that will trigger you to reset your emotional equilibrium. If you can't fully shake off that sense of negativity or fearfulness or annoyance, then at least move into a charge-neutral state where you will consciously avoid acting out of reaction to whatever is bothering you. Now, although in context I was writing about visionary leaders specifically in Do Scale, it's advice I recommend to all leaders. You owe it to yourself and to those you work with to bring a charge-neutral state to the important work that you do. What about you? How do you maximize your personal speed to clarity? Let me know in the comments below.